Congratulations, everyone. You've made it to the halfway point of 2020. Most of us here in the U.S. will be celebrating Independence Day this weekend. To all of my U.S. brothers and sisters, I say greetings and well wishes. Be sure to fly your flags at full mast. It bothers me seeing so many flags being flown at half-mast. We are not in a period of national mourning. But that's a topic for another video. Today, I'd like to talk briefly about what has happened to the U.S. debt and Federal Reserve balance sheet over the first half of this year. And I'll start with the debt. As you can see, I have plotted our national debt for the first 6 months of this year. We can see a distinct change in shape that occurred right around the end of March. If we break it down by government fiscal quarter, we can see that the second quarter was pretty ho-hum. The debt increased by about $500 billion, which is about 2.3%. Now, I say ho-hum not because it isn't disturbing to me. I say it's ho-hum because it was like many other quarters before it. In actuality, the 2.3% quarterly rate of increase seen in the second fiscal quarter is an annual rate of increase of 9.5%. And we all know what eventually happens to households that increase their debt by 10% per year. But hey, modern monetary theory would have us believe that the government is doing us a service by going into debt. The MMT adherents actually believe that without government debt, there could be no savings. And what could be more insane than that? But I digress. That's a subject for a different video. Focus your attention now on the third fiscal quarter. The debt is starting to take on the shape of a hockey stick. It rose by $2.73 trillion, which is a 11.5% increase. So the increase that we would have expected to see in the debt for an entire year based upon the run rate of the prior quarter was exceeded in one quarter alone. Oh, and just to let everyone know how significant this is, 11.5% in a single quarter, when annualized, works out to 55%. And I see no sign that this trend is slowing. At least not yet. Is the Treasury spending all of these funds? Not according to the Federal Reserve balance sheet. As we can see here, and as I've reported in multiple videos over the past few months, a large portion of the increase in the Federal Reserve balance sheet is the Treasury account at the New York Fed. This account has grown to $1.66 trillion since the end of March, from a starting value of $0.4 trillion. So essentially, the Treasury has increased the number of bonds against it by $2.73 trillion, and it increased its cash position at the Federal Reserve by $1.26 trillion. This $1.26 trillion increase in the Treasury's cash position is nearly half of the $2.73 trillion increase in its debt position. So the Treasury has been issuing bonds like mad and spending money like mad, though it could have been spending money at nearly twice the pace that it had. Want to see another interesting trend change between January through March and April through June? It looks like the stock market certainly liked what the Treasury has been doing. I wonder what the stock market trend from April through June would have looked like if the Treasury had spent all of the money that it had obtained from bond sales. My guess is that it would have gunned stock prices quite a bit higher. Of course, one has to wonder when the Treasury will be spending all of this extra cash. I think I have the answer. There is this national election coming up in November, but it would take a very cynical person to think that politicians would spend the public's money just for the sake of getting reelected. Got gold?